Welcome, fellow night owls, to Bedtime True Crime, the YouTube channel that delves deep into the chilling world of true crime, serial killers, and unsolved mysteries. Join us as we journey into the shadows, unearthing spine-tingling tales that are sure to keep you awake at night. Our in-depth investigations will bring these horrifying cases to life, leaving you with an insatiable thirst for more. Before we dive in, if you're new here and enjoy our stories, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss another thrilling episode. Now, turn off the lights, get comfortable, and prepare to be captivated by the sinister side of human nature as we delve into today's bone-chilling story. The year was 2007, and the picturesque Italian city of Perugia set the stage for a gruesome murder that would captivate the world. A vibrant young woman named Meredith Kercher had her life brutally cut short, throwing everyone around her into a whirlwind of chaos, suspicion, and heartbreak. Meredith Susanna Cara Kercher hailed from London, England. She was an intelligent and ambitious 21-year-old student studying European politics at Leeds University. In September 2007, she embarked on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to study abroad in Italy as part of an exchange program with the University for Foreigners in Perugia. Perugia is known for its rich history, stunning architecture, and lively atmosphere, attracting students from all over the globe. By all accounts, Meredith quickly adapted to her new surroundings and made friends easily among both locals and fellow international students. But this idyllic setting concealed dark secrets lurking just beneath the surface. Little did anyone know that tragedy would soon strike within the ancient walls of Perugia, when one fateful evening turned deadly. The events that unfolded left not only Meredith's loved ones reeling, but also caused shockwaves across borders as people struggled to comprehend how such horror could befall an innocent young woman in what should have been the best time of her life. As we delve deeper into this chilling story, you'll hear about strange occurrences leading up to Meredith's untimely demise, details so peculiar they will make your skin crawl. And if you think you know everything there is to know about this case already, think again. We've uncovered some startling revelations that might change your perspective entirely. So join us now as we take our first steps into unraveling the twisted tale surrounding the murder of Meredith Kercher, a harrowing journey through betrayal, deception, and blood-stained cobblestones where nothing is quite as it seems. Meredith's life in Italy seemed to be going smoothly. She lived in a charming cottage-style apartment with 3 other young women: Amanda Knox, an American exchange student from Seattle; Raffaele Sollecito, Amanda's Italian boyfriend who visited the house frequently; and 2 Italian roommates, Filomena Romanelli and Laura Mazzetti. On November 1st, 2007, All Saints' Day. Meredith spent the evening with friends at their home nearby. They enjoyed dinner together before settling down to watch a movie. As midnight approached, she decided it was time to head back to her own apartment. Her friends recalled that on this particular night, they had tried to persuade her to stay over, but ultimately respected her decision. Meanwhile, across town, Amanda Knox claimed she spent the night at Raffaele's apartment where they cooked dinner and watched movies. The following day, November 2nd, as daylight crept through Perugia, casting its warm glow upon the ancient city streets, would bring about a chilling discovery that no one could have anticipated. When Meredith failed to answer calls or texts from concerned friends throughout the morning of November 2nd, panic began setting in. In the early afternoon hours, Amanda arrived back at the shared apartment, only to find the front door unlocked and slightly ajar, something completely out of character for safety-conscious Meredith. As Amanda ventured further inside, she discovered blood smeared on both bathroom faucets and an unflushed toilet filled with feces. Despite these alarming discoveries, she didn't call police immediately, but instead contacted Filomena Romanelli first. Upon arrival at their shared residence, Filomena noticed that her bedroom window had been shattered and items strewn all around her room, indicating signs of forced entry and theft. At this point, alarmed by what they were witnessing within their once safe haven, Amanda called Raffaele while Filomena called the police. Together, they anxiously awaited the arrival of authorities, their hearts pounding as a sense of dread consumed them. When officers finally arrived and conducted a thorough search of the premises, it was behind Meredith's locked bedroom door that they made a grisly discovery, one that would send shockwaves throughout Perugia and beyond. Meredith Kercher lay lifeless on her bedroom floor, her body partially covered by a duvet. Her throat had been brutally slashed, leaving blood splattered across the room in horrifying patterns. The once lively student who had come to Italy filled with dreams and aspirations now lay cold and motionless, forever silenced by an unknown assailant. As news spread about this gruesome murder scene, people were left reeling from disbelief. How could such brutality befall someone so young and full of promise? As investigators began piecing together what happened during those fateful hours leading up to Meredith's death, perplexing questions arose. Who committed this monstrous act? And why? In our next segment, we'll delve deeper into these unanswered questions, while exploring new revelations concerning suspicious behavior exhibited by some key players involved in this twisted tale. As the investigation into Meredith Kercher's horrific murder began, Italian police were faced with a daunting task: to unravel the mystery surrounding her death and find those responsible. And so, they turned their attention towards the people closest to Meredith, her roommates and friends. The shattered window in Filomena Romanelli's bedroom initially led investigators to believe that this was a robbery gone wrong. However, upon closer examination, something didn't quite add up. The glass shards from the broken window lay on top of clothes strewn across the floor, suggesting that it had been smashed after items were already tossed around. This peculiar detail raised suspicions among authorities. Could someone have staged a break-in as part of an elaborate cover-up? As they delved deeper into the lives of those who knew Meredith best, their focus soon shifted toward Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito. Despite being at Raffaele's apartment during the time when Meredith is believed to have been murdered, both Amanda and Raffaele exhibited strange behavior following her death. They were observed kissing and cuddling outside the crime scene while investigators combed through evidence inside, actions some deemed inappropriate given the circumstances. In addition to their seemingly odd demeanor, inconsistencies emerged within their alibis for November 1st. While both claimed to have spent the evening together watching movies and smoking marijuana at Raffaele's place, neither could provide concrete details about what transpired between them or corroborate each other's stories entirely. These discrepancies prompted law enforcement officials to bring Amanda and Raffaele in for questioning, resulting in further confusion as new versions of events came forth under pressure from interrogators. At one point during questioning, Amanda accused Patrick Lumumba, a local bar owner where she worked, of committing the heinous act against Meredith. This allegation would later prove unfounded when Lumumba provided solid alibi evidence clearing his name. With mounting suspicions surrounding Amanda and Raffaele, investigators turned to forensic evidence found at the scene. What they uncovered would only deepen the mystery further. Raffaele's DNA was discovered on Meredith's bra clasp, although this piece of evidence wouldn't be collected until weeks after her murder. Additionally, a bloody footprint found in Meredith's room matched Raffaele's shoe size, but not his exact footwear pattern. The most damning piece of evidence against Amanda came in the form of mixed DNA traces. Her blood intermingled with that of Meredith's located near the victim's bedroom door. This chilling discovery led authorities to arrest both Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito for their alleged involvement in the brutal slaying of Meredith Kercher. But as we'll soon discover, more shocking twists awaited all those involved in this baffling case, including revelations about another individual whose presence at the crime scene had yet to be unveiled. While Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito were in the spotlight as prime suspects, another individual entered the fray, someone whose DNA evidence would ultimately lead to an even more disturbing twist in this already convoluted case. Rudy Guede, a local drifter originally from Ivory Coast, had been seen with Meredith and her friends on several occasions before her death. His fingerprints were discovered at the crime scene, smeared in blood on Meredith's bedroom wall and pillowcase. Investigators found that Rudy had fled Italy for Germany shortly after Meredith's murder, but was caught quickly due to an international arrest warrant. While detained, he confessed to being present during the attack, but claimed he didn't commit it himself. Instead, He insisted that Amanda and Raffaele killed Meredith, while he helplessly watched from afar. As authorities delved deeper into Rudy's background, they found a man with a troubled past, numerous run-ins with law enforcement officials over drug-related offenses, and accusations of burglary painted him as an unsavory character. Furthermore, his connection to the apartment building where Meredith lived only heightened suspicions surrounding his involvement in her brutal slaying. With 3 potential perpetrators now ensnared within this tangled web of lies and deceit, investigators faced mounting pressure to untangle the truth behind what transpired on that fateful November evening when darkness fell upon Perugia. In our next segment, we'll explore how this complex investigation unfolded, examining critical pieces of evidence collected by law enforcement officials as well as challenges faced during their relentless pursuit for justice. As you'll soon discover, not everything is quite as it seems in this chilling true crime tale. As the investigation into Meredith Kercher's murder continued, authorities attempted to piece together a comprehensive picture of what had transpired on that fateful night. With Amanda Knox, Raffaele Sollecito, and Rudy Guede all in custody as potential perpetrators, it was crucial for investigators to meticulously examine every shred of evidence found at the crime scene. The initial response by Italian law enforcement raised concerns among some experts who believed that crucial pieces of evidence could have been compromised due to improper handling. For example, the bra clasp containing Raffaele's DNA wasn't collected until 46 days after the murder, leaving ample opportunity for contamination or tampering. Despite these setbacks, forensic analysts managed to identify key elements within the crime scene that helped paint a clearer picture of what may have occurred during those dark hours, when Meredith's life was tragically cut short. Bloodstain pattern analysis revealed signs of struggle between Meredith and her attacker indicating she fought valiantly before succumbing to her injuries. Additionally, further examination of Rudy Guede's fingerprints confirmed his presence inside the apartment, providing compelling proof supporting his arrest and subsequent involvement in this gruesome act. However, despite mounting evidence against Rudy, including his own confession about being present during Meredith's attack, questions surrounding Amanda and Raffaele still loomed large over the case. Their inconsistent alibis and seemingly odd behavior only served to fuel speculation regarding their possible role in this chilling tale. As part of their efforts to establish culpability beyond doubt, investigators conducted extensive searches of both Amanda and Raffaele's personal belongings. Computers were seized for analysis, while phone records were scrutinized in hopes of uncovering any hidden clues linking them directly with Meredith's untimely demise. During this period, several obstacles arose which hindered progress within the investigation. Language barriers led to misinterpretations. Conflicting accounts from witnesses created confusion. Even issues such as cultural differences and media scrutiny placed immense strain upon those tasked with seeking the truth behind this horrifying crime. Yet, despite these challenges, as well as mounting public pressure for answers, investigators remained steadfast in their pursuit of justice. What followed would be a series of shocking revelations that would test the limits of both law enforcement officials and all those involved in this tragic story. The impact of Meredith Kercher's murder rippled far beyond the crime scene, leaving an indelible mark on the lives of those who knew and loved her. As investigators worked tirelessly to piece together the events that unfolded on November 1, 2007, friends and family members struggled to come to terms with their devastating loss. Meredith was described by those close to her as a bright, caring, and friendly young woman, someone whose presence brought joy into any room she entered. Her untimely death left a void in the hearts of all who had been fortunate enough to know her. Even strangers across borders were touched by her tragic story. In addition to grieving for Meredith, several individuals found themselves thrust into the spotlight following this heinous act. Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito faced intense scrutiny from both law enforcement officials and media outlets worldwide, their every move dissected under a microscope, while they awaited trial for their alleged involvement in this gruesome tale. While Amanda and Raffaele maintained their innocence throughout this ordeal, Rudy Guede continued asserting his claims about being present during Meredith's attack, but not participating directly in it himself. His testimony offered chilling insights into what may have occurred within those blood-stained walls, where a vibrant life was so brutally extinguished. As details surrounding these three key players emerged over time, including accounts from friends who recalled odd behavior exhibited by each suspect before or after the murder, many wondered whether justice would ever be served for poor Meredith and her heartbroken family. With such complex layers enshrouding this case, compounded by challenges encountered during investigations, it seemed almost impossible for anyone outside its inner circle to truly comprehend what happened when darkness fell upon Perugia that fateful evening. But as we'll soon discover, sometimes truth can emerge from even the darkest depths of despair. As the case surrounding Meredith Kercher's murder continued to unfold, it became increasingly important for investigators and prosecutors alike to understand the motivations behind such a heinous act. With Amanda Knox, Raffaele Sollecito, and Rudy Guede all implicated in this gruesome crime, efforts were made to delve deeper into their backgrounds and uncover any potential reasons as to why they might have been involved. Amanda Knox was portrayed by some media outlets as an attention-seeking young woman with a dark side, someone who reveled in her newfound notoriety following the tragic events that transpired in Perugia. Her social media presence before the murder fueled these speculations, including photos of her wielding knives or posing provocatively, which painted a sinister picture of her character. Raffaele Sollecito, on the other hand, came from a middle-class Italian family with no prior criminal history. His relationship with Amanda had only begun weeks before Meredith's murder, leading many to question whether his involvement resulted from misguided loyalty towards his new girlfriend during those tumultuous days when suspicions began mounting against them both. As for Rudy Guede, his troubled past provided ample cause for concern. Drug-related offenses, accusations of burglary, even concerns over mental instability raised questions about what may have driven him to participate in such a brutal attack upon an innocent young woman like Meredith. Despite extensive investigations into each suspect's background, however, clear-cut motives remained elusive, leaving room for doubt among jurors tasked with deciding their fates within Italy's complex judicial system. In our next segment, we'll explore how law enforcement officials managed to track down key suspects through tireless detective work, while also examining critical moments throughout this harrowing manhunt. As the manhunt for those responsible for Meredith Kercher's murder unfolded, Italian law enforcement officials faced an arduous task. With Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito already in custody, but their guilt far from being definitively proven, investigators turned their attention towards tracking down Rudy Guede. Guede had fled to Germany shortly after Meredith's death, making his capture a top priority for authorities seeking justice on her behalf. Through relentless pursuit and cooperation between Italian and German police forces, he was eventually arrested in Mainz, a city located near Frankfurt, just 3 weeks after that fateful November night in Perugia. Upon apprehending Guede, officers discovered chilling evidence linking him directly to the crime scene: blood-stained clothing, incriminating text messages sent to friends about fleeing Italy, even traces of Meredith's DNA found beneath his fingernails. These discoveries provided compelling proof supporting his arrest and subsequent extradition back to Italy. Meanwhile, as new details emerged surrounding Guede's background and possible motivations behind this brutal attack, many began questioning whether Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito were truly involved, or merely victims of circumstance caught up within a whirlwind of media frenzy and flawed investigations. As we'll soon discover during our exploration of the trial proceedings against all three suspects, including key pieces of forensic evidence presented by both sides, answers would prove elusive while tensions mounted among jurors tasked with determining who was ultimately responsible for snuffing out a bright young life filled with so much promise. The trials of Amanda Knox, Raffaele Sollecito, and Rudy Guede were fraught with controversy and emotion as each defendant faced a legal battle for their freedom. With the world watching closely, these proceedings would determine not only the fate of those accused, but also seek to provide some semblance of closure for Meredith Kercher's grieving family. In October 2008, Rudy Guede was found guilty of participating in the sexual assault and murder of Meredith Kercher. He received a 30-year prison sentence, later reduced to 16 years on appeal. Despite confessing his presence during the attack, he continued maintaining his innocence regarding direct involvement in her death. The following year saw Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito stand trial together. Throughout this lengthy process, which captured international attention, key pieces of evidence were presented by both prosecution and defense teams, from DNA samples linking defendants to the crime scene to allegations of contamination or tampering surrounding crucial forensic findings. Amidst heated debates over conflicting testimonies, questionable investigative methods, and intense media scrutiny, jurors ultimately reached a verdict. In December 2009, both Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito were found guilty of murdering Meredith Kercher, receiving respective sentences of 26 years, later increased to 28, and 25 years in prison. However, this would be far from the end of their legal battles. The subsequent years witnessed ongoing appeals and retrials that kept all parties involved in an emotional limbo while seeking answers about what truly transpired within Perugia's ancient walls when darkness fell upon November 1, 2007. Finally, after several twists and turns throughout this convoluted case, including overturned convictions followed by reinstatements before being definitively acquitted in March 2015 by Italy's highest court, Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito walked free once more. With these verdicts handed down, many are left wondering whether true justice has been served for Meredith Kercher and her grieving family. As we reflect upon this chilling tale that captured the world's attention, one cannot help but ponder what lessons can be learned from such a tragic loss of life, and how those who loved Meredith might find peace amidst ongoing uncertainty surrounding her untimely death. That'll be all for this evening, fellow night owls. We love to hear your feedback, so if there's a notorious killer or sinister story you want us to cover, please let us know in the comments, which we check daily. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all our stories and allow us to continue telling our true crime tales. As we reach the conclusion of our chilling exploration into the murder of Meredith Kercher and the subsequent trials of Amanda Knox, Raffaele Sollecito, and Rudy Guede, it's important to remember that at the heart of this story lies a tragic loss, a young woman whose life was taken far too soon. Throughout these episodes, we've delved deep into the complexities surrounding this case, examining evidence presented by both prosecution and defense teams, weighing conflicting testimonies, even questioning whether justice has truly been served for all parties involved. Amidst such uncertainty, one thing remains clear: Meredith Kercher will never be forgotten. As you reflect upon this harrowing tale filled with mystery, intrigue, and sorrow, consider what lessons might be learned from such an event, not just within legal proceedings, but also in how we approach understanding human nature itself. For as much as darkness exists in this world, so too does light, and it is up to each of us to seek out those glimmers amidst shadows cast by tragedy. That'll be all for this evening, fellow night owls. We love to hear your feedback, so if there's a notorious killer or sinister story you want us to cover, please let us know in the comments, which we check daily. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all our stories and allow us to continue telling our true crime tales.